All right, Trump's third term, and him also talking about Elon has to go back to work soon and run his companies. All right, so the Doge, we see some things happening that I've told you were going to happen as the second coming of the dawn was before us, that second coming of the Lord. And as we're in those 42 months of the false prophet of Biden and such, and we saw some things unwind during those time frames, but we are now in those 42 months of the false prophet. All right, so let's prop this shit up, okay? Because we've already been over this before. We just have to change some names around a little bit because I told you everything that was going to be coming, okay? So the spirit is right, however the names may be mismatched, and this is where we can see the Doge coming in as that short test time frame, or the short test presidency and such, or whatever, because he's given this external power that is above the government in one way, and he's coming in and altering it. So as everybody was put on that altar and hung over that hell, that Heil of fire, this is where we're at. So the Obama, that physical dark sun, we have a physical dark sun, the Obama, and then the dawn of time rose after him when the woman was covered in the sun in 2017, and the sky and on the earth. And then also the spiritual dark sun, and the Jew, so-called, is a spiritual nation. So how can a spiritual nation come in a carnal existence? Well, the carnal is here before you, and the people are being hung up on the cross, all right? And that CC Rider is before all with that closed caption television on the cars and the Damascus, or whatever. They know the cars have cameras on them, so let's put a mask on before you start going and keying it. Well, they've taken your key. All right, so you can't get into the new heaven and earth and those types of things. So as Obama, this eclipse, Trump born in 46, you just had the 46th presidency, and also the 47th presidency is also the 46, okay, because we go back to, I think it was Taft. That's where we get the two numbers on the presidency and such. But this third term, this tribulation and these types of things, when we look at COVID, we can see a flip-flop on things where Trump could come in through it for a third term without even being elected. And this would be through wartime presidencies or a new pandemic and those types of things, as we have seen these things kind of laid out in the past, and how they can show fruits and grow into trees in the future, and those trees are the tribes. So you're in those tribes now for the 47, 48, and 49 for the trimester, for the birth of a nation and the birth upon you, and all these things as Satan and Jesus is giving birth within each and every one of you. And Moses comes down in the Red Sea and divides the left and right hemispheres of the brains and such. So instead of you having a full brain of all of it, you're going to be segmented, okay? And as you're segmented, that's when the flood comes, and the petrodollar and the mint and all that stuff comes in there, and the pepper makes you sneeze, and all those things. So the dark sun Obama, I've told you in the past how the vice presidents, who's your vice? This is where we could see like this third term or whatever, right? It just starts taking off. They don't even, people are just like so gone far with it or whatever. They're just like, yeah, third term or whatever, all right? And not knowing that our Constitution and stuff tries to keep from these things happening. However, there are loopholes, and the loopholes are on the needles, and the needles have that thread, and y'all haven't read, so this is where the Fantastic Four is coming in with the old Stretch Armstrong and choking you out. All right, so the dark sun Obama, the dawn of time, the Elon, the woman coming, the vice presidents, all these things, okay? We can see this is where, like, Obama comes, Trump comes for the third term or whatever, and then all of a sudden, you just have the vices left there. And then you got to pick from your vice, and you got to pick your vice and all those things for your addictions. And the addictions is for that poussey that has been given for the old corona, that crowning. And you got to put in the old dictator or the dictator and those types of things, and the addictions and whatever else for the hobbits that are here, the hobots, the robots. So little things that I've told you in the past, change some names around. We can see how these things are all unfolding, and for the 48th presidency, where we're gonna see this fucking eclectic style election cycle or whatever, as the dawn of time comes in and gathers his nation, his American Nazi hateful whatever nation, all right? That master race. Hello, Mastodon, as we are in the Ice Age, okay? So the Mastodon and the master race for the slave nation of America that's built on the ox and all this shit, all right? So you're going back. Your history is telling you about your future, okay? So you need to realize these things. And if we came from Africa, right? The slaves came from Africa and whatever, flip-flops this shit or whatever, right? We got Elon Musk coming from South Africa. He's coming to free the slaves or whatever, but the slaves don't want to be freed because they're in that master race environment, and their master race is being shown with a mark in the right hand. Hail Hitler! And all those things. So, hail, hill, heil, hail, with a weather, all these things are unfolding before you, okay? So, the hail comes from the sky, is ice in a circle form, in a golf ball form, in a baseball form, okay? So, past time, Gulf of America, okay? Either way, folks, it's just like so many things, okay? Thousands of points of lights in all directions that I've laid out for you over the past years, so you can understand the day and time and hour that you are living in as the church and the so-called begotten sons, the religions of the earth and such, are given over to the delusion, which is the motion picture, the image that's given life. And there's demons and Satan and Jesus all around us, okay? And they're all coming for you. And they all live inside of you. And they all give you fear and all this shit, all right? So y'all just get ready, okay? Because the great tribulation, left behind, whatever you want to call it, is all before you, as the number 9, that Christ consciousness number, has been marked and placed in the foreheads of man, and they have gone and done that Christ session in the right hand to mark it yes or no, and whether you're left or right, you are marked. Okay? So, just suck it up.